What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome everybody to What's Up, Cuz. I'm your host, Jason Palmer, along with my man, my cousin, the coach himself, Lancey Irvin. He's joining me. And we are back. We are back. We are back. Today officially marks our kickoff show for season number 2. Season number 2 kickoff show. We know we promised you we're going to be doing this live, but we had a couple last minute things that we could not work out. But we do know where we're going to have our party and celebration. We do have that locked down. We're getting the date. It's either going to be next Monday or the Monday thereafter at the Output Lounge. Output Lounge is where we're going to be having it. And oh my goodness, that is a Sean Sierra and Alberto Ramirez hangout spot. So God help us. The party is going to be at Output here in a couple of weeks, and we're going to have more information on that. Just follow our Twitter account, What's Up, Cuz, Lance and Jason, and we'll be providing more information on that. What's up, Armando? Good to see you, brother. I know Vernon is out there. I know Berto is out there. I know Daryl is out there. I know Eric is watching. Because how have you been?
You know what? That's why I love this show. I find stuff out when I jump on the show, even though I had to see the eye doctor. So we're going to the Outpost Lounge, huh?
Yeah, we're going to the Output Lounge, yeah.
I thought you was going to say something more in my wheelhouse, like the Family Den, or, one of the places that Nick frequents, right? Family Den. Something like that, the Buddha, or something like that. But I'll go with Sean. Let me ask you a question, Jay. Is Maya going to be there?
Maya is supposed to be there, as well as many of the other SportsZone Chicago personalities, producers, owners. So it's going to be a big party, which is one of the reasons why we had to back it up to try to get, we all got crazy lives and schedules, but we going to get that going. But it's going to be a party. But let's tell the people, welcome to season number 2. This is episode 1. And if you're watching us on YouTube, we appreciate that. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Also, if you're watching us on the SportsZone Chicago app, we certainly appreciate you watching on the app. If you do not have the app, remember, you can get it from Amazon, you can get it from iTunes, you can get it from Google. Download that app. It'll give you access to all the shows we have here on SportsZone Chicago. So make sure you download that app. Now, Lance, I don't know what the hell you're wearing today. You got to explain this. What is this that you're wearing?
Well, let me say this. First of all, I cannot start off the show without wishing my one and only daughter, Brooklyn Elaine Irvin, my only child, a happy 21st birthday. Daddy loves you. Daddy just had to send you some more money like always. Lord, Jay, they get old quick and they steady ask for money. I told her I just sent you 50 for lunch last week. Now you asking me for some more money because it's your birthday. So at the end of the day, wish Brookie happy birthday. But Jay, this is called my Russian play hard or sit shirt. In coaching, either your ass play hard or you go sit somewhere. So, I make it, you know how people, they running down the court and they not really working hard and they try to look, how they stare at you. They looking at me, I'm looking at them. That's all I do. Ain't nothing to say.
So for those of you who cannot see it, but get a little closer, this shirt says play hard or sit.
Self-explanatory. Like, I'm not doing all that talking.
So that
I need one of them, Coach. I need one of those.
Oh, Sean, Ivan, I have one. See, I learned a lot from Pops. You don't need to do all that talking when you coaching, Jay. I'm not doing all that talking. Coach, I coach. I'm just saving my energy, saving my breath. Jay, I got a lot of these, baby. I got a lot. You and I gonna start selling these on SportsZone.
Yeah, I agree, man. You might want to make your paper.
I came up with some new ones too. I'm not gonna say them on the show, but I got a lot of them.
Okay.
Got a lot of them. But because I see you got the sock shirt on, tight fit. See, you lost about 10 pounds. You must be doing a 60-40 and you still going to the gun range.
I am not
going to the gun range.
I'm doing 60-40. I am going to the gun range. But
you golfing. You doing all that golfing.
I am golfing. I did 18 holes today. As a matter of fact, I broke 100 for the second time in my life, so I'm getting better. But yes, I've been golfing. I've been working out. As you can see, I've got like some little mini guns. Yeah, I'm working on your husband. I've been hitting the biceps and the and, my tattoo started to pop a little bit. I'm starting to, get it back together like I was a youth or something. So, the wife is starting to like it. So, that always you.
Ivan, could you please come on the show? Ivan, could you please come on the show? Ivan. Call his wife, Ivan. That man wears an extra large. That man is squeezed into a medium t-shirt for the show. Where's Sharice at? Where's my cousin Sharice?
She is out taking care of
Ivan.
Unavailable.
That man's Ivan. He will not be able to finish the show with that tight shirt on, Ivan.
I will.
Ivan, get ready. Ivan, get ready.
It's a large.
That's a medium.
And Jason's the fact he is sitting down. Okay? He is sitting down, so when he stands up, it might be looking a little different.
Don't be clown to be on my show. You forgot what the message says. Respect Chicago. Respect Chicago. That's the message.
I love that shirt, Jay. Chicago. Even though you took me to a game where half the outfit was sitting on the bench staring at us, they was eating sunflower seeds, spitting them on us. I was like, Jay, you brought me the whole outfield missing.
Yeah.
Where's everybody at? But I still have fun though.
Still have fun.
Jay, did I read right? Are our socks 54 and 35?
They are. They are
in first place.
And that is the first topic of today's show. So let's talk about it. Tonight's first topic. Tonight is the Major League Baseball Home Run Derby as part of the festivities to kick off the Major League Baseball All-Star Game, which is in Colorado this year, after Atlanta passed some stupid law that was trying to mess with black people. And Major League Baseball said, well, give us our All-Star Game back. So they moved it to Denver, Colorado. So you got All-Star break hitting. And we've got a tale of two cities. We've got the Cubs, who are 8 games out of first place, and we got the White Sox, who are 8 games in front in first place. Now, let's start with the Cubs, because I would start calling them the bipolar Cubs. Now, we started out the season, we were like, oh, man, they look like they're trying to rebuild. They got rid of Yu Darvish, They got rid of Kyle Schwarber, who's been tearing the ball off, the cover off the ball.
Destroying it.
But I was like, okay, so we all like, all right, they throwing the towel in. So they came out and they were throwing the towel in. They was in dead last place. Then all of a sudden, they decided, no, man, we gonna play. So then they go and they get in first place. So everybody like, oh man, forget all that, trade people away. We gonna be buyers by the trade deadline. So we're feeling all confident, both teams in first place. And then they lost like 11 games in a row. And I went on vacation and I came back like, what happened? What happened to the Cubs, man?
It's Jay, it's the darnest thing ever. Like, how many losing streaks? Well, I shouldn't answer that, I know. But like 11-game losing streak, 8-game losing streak. And they have some horses over there, right? I mean, I'm not sure if it's like, are the contracts, Jay, people don't know if they're coming back? Is that messing with guys' heads? I mean, the hitting sometimes, like I told you a couple of weeks ago, everybody was hitting sub 200s. Mm-hmm. Then it seemed like they started hitting a little bit better. Like you and Nick was talking about Jason Hayward. Mm-hmm. Then we get Walt Bond on the show. Walt Bond speak them in the first place. Maybe we need to have Walt Bond back on the show.
All right.
But Jay, like, what's the problem? Like, if you look on paper, they probably have a decent team. Right. If you look on paper. I'm still upset they traded Darvish. I like you said, I thought they was gonna have a firestorm after they traded him. You let Schwarber go, like you said. So I'm like, okay, maybe they just trying to get through the year. Okay, but then, like you said, they start winning. Then stuff goes crazy. I mean, I don't know what's the problem, Jay. You're the baseball expert. Like,
man, I can't analyze. These people need a psychologist. They all
Kimbrel was pitching good for a while. I'm like, Jay, like that man fastball looked like the fastball of old. Then, like, I don't understand him.
Well, here's the thing. So we knew that their starting pitching was going to be an issue. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So the starting pitching was actually, pretty decent. But they couldn't hit. Okay. Then all of a sudden, they started hitting the ball. And they're going on with the starting pitching. I'm like, okay, now we're in there. All right, just keep hitting. Then they stop hitting again. And they're losing games 1-0, 3-0. I'm like, well, you ain't going to beat nobody with 0. I'm sorry. You're not going to beat nobody. So I just don't know. The Cubs have just been very, all over the place. I don't know. You can't even analyze them because you'll drive yourself crazy. I hope the All-Star break gets them to get another streak going, heading into the trade deadline. I hope they make their GM's job a lot harder because you can tell he wants to just tank the team and trade people. But I'd like to see them make a push these final couple of weeks in July and be buyers, man.
So Jay, if you tanking the team, why you holding on to Baez there? Like if you tanking, let's see what we could get for Baez, right? I think he probably has a little bit of value on the trade market. Like, why don't you start building now? Or the draft was when? The draft is now.
Yeah.
So what are you waiting for?
Well, I don't know. I mean, they had a draft yesterday. I know the White Sox drafted a shortstop from, I think he's from Indiana or somewhere, or something like that.
He's from Indiana, Southern Indiana.
And the Cubs, help me with the Cubs. Who did they draft?
They drafted Wick from Kansas. I believe it's Kansas State, left-handed pitcher.
Oh, well, there you go. So they're starting to address their pitching deficiencies, which they need to do. We know they got our guy Ed Howard, who they got last year. He's the shortstop of the future.
I like him.
But he's still a couple of, years away probably from getting up. So, I mean, they just need to really think about what they're going to do here. And if they're going to rebuild. If they're going to go for it, go for it. So, I don't know. The Cubs are just driving everybody crazy. Now, the White Sox, on the other hand, after they swept Baltimore, after they almost blew it in the ninth, they sweep Baltimore, sweep the season series from the worst team in the American League. They're 8 games up. And to me, this is a fascinating story because 60% of the White Sox are on the injured list. So I don't know.
I told you were not going to the game.
The manager is old. He probably need to be in a senior citizen's home. The team, everybody is hurt, and they still in first place. I don't know how they're doing it because every game I go to, they lose.
But Jay, let me ask you this. We're talking about the manager being a senior citizen. Is he pressing the right buttons? Yeah. I wouldn't have thought that they would have been in first place. Like I just mentioned, you and I go to the game. All the outfielders injured. No outfield. And they lose
the second baseman.
The second baseman was out. They got people on the field. I barely knew their last names. It seemed like somebody just put a piece of tape on their jerseys and they're out there performing. The urinator hasn't been. He hasn't been doing anything.
He's down in the minors,
I was about to say he in double-A or triple-A somewhere, and they're still in first place. How much is it Tony La Russa, or what do you think about when you think? I mean, how are they in first place? Grandal was batting like 188, and I told you he's always on base. He's always on base,
and then he got hurt.
So Jay, like how? I mean, how?
Here's the thing. I think they've got strong leadership. I think Tim Anderson and Jose Abreu are really the leaders on that team. They lead in different ways, but I think they're the leaders, and I just think those guys' determination to win is rubbing off on the other players in the locker room. And they're saying, look, man, we ain't going down without no fight. I don't care what happens. We done waited too long. We done been through this rebuild. This is our let's get it together. And they're getting just enough offense to win games, but their pitching is lights out, man. They're starting pitching. It's unbelievable. And then you got Kopech and Crochet in the bullpen. Hendricks, he blew the save yesterday, but he's been pretty good. And Lance Lynn, I mean, they're starting is what's getting it done. They're starting pitching, and they're getting just enough offense. And let's keep it real. Their division sucks. So they ain't playing no world beaters. I mean, the Twins are terrible. The Tigers are terrible. The Royals are always terrible. In Cleveland, they traded a lot of their people. So they're in the worst division in baseball, so that kind of helps. But that they're
you're
doing
still winning. Yeah, you're still winning. You could be in the worst division and be in last place.
You can.
But I think, like you said, though, I'm a huge advocate of pitching. I mean, the guys you just named on the pitching staff, they're doing great. But boy, Jay, I almost feel like what's his name? Floyd Mayweather. I should have bet 50,000 on the Sox to be in first place at the All-Star break.
Right.
Shouts GV, what's up, babe? But shouts out GV, you need to chime in on this Cubs Sox stuff because I know you understand baseball.
Oh, Gordon say he's working out. Gordon trying to get down. Look at Gordon. Gordon. See, Gordon, a fellow journalist. So we got to try to keep our bodies intact. What can I say? We see you, Gordon. We see you. You keep working, brother. Keep working.
We need to have Gordon on the show.
Too. We are. We're going to get Gordon on. We're definitely going to get him on the season 2. Hey, before we go any further, let's tell people who we got coming on later on today in this show. We are back with guests. We got 2 guests. 2 guests coming up. Our first guest coming up at 6:30 tonight. She is a professional basketball player. She started at Whitney Young. She went on to play at the University of Kentucky, and she's now a professional ball player. She actually played with the Sky for a little bit here. Right. Our girl, Lene Harper. Lene Harper is coming on at 6:30. She's going to help us break down what's going on in the NBA Finals. Woo, we got a series going on there. She's also going to talk about the WNBA All-Star weekend, All-Star weekend game, which is coming up as well. So Lene Harper is coming up at 6:30. And then at 7 o'clock, we got an old friend of the family. We go so far back with him, I don't even know where to start. He's going to be checking in at 7 o'clock because we got to talk about everything that's going on in the track and field world. Just so much stuff in addition to Sha'Carri Richardson.
Oh, Lord.
Just so much stuff. But I needed someone who knows track and field. So I said, I know who to call. So we called up this guy, and he was like, you really need me now? I'm like, yes. So he's coming on at 7 o'clock p.m., former head coach of track and field at Chicago State University, my good friend, Sudi Davis. He's coming on. He's going to help us break down track and field. But before we do anything else, we got to bring on our cousin.
Oh, he is.
We missed him for our season finale, but he's joining us for the first episode of season 2. You know who he is. He joins us. He is the sports editor from the Chicago Crusader newspaper. We do this show in conjunction with the Chicago Crusader newspaper. Welcome, their sports editor, Joseph Phillips. What's up, Joe?
What's up, cuz? What's up, fellas?
What up, Joe? Man, Joe, you're not stadium dropping these days. I mean, you could go see the Cubs, the Sox, the Brewers. I mean, you're not in the stadium today?
I'm in the
You're not in Denver?
I'm in the stadium, all right. I'm diaper dropping. I'm diaper dropping.
Well, you're not in Denver.
I got daddy duty.
Daddy duty stuff can wait. There's an All-Star game going on. Why you
trying to get Joe in trouble in his house?
I run my house.
You try to get my wife to hit me for child support. Man.
You don't run your. So you try to tell me you don't run your house?
You say what?
You don't run your house. So is that what you basically tell me?
Lance make them dance. Yeah, I run my house. I try to keep peace in my house, man.
That's right, Joe.
You see how organized your home? You see how organized your home is? That's how I keep it. I keep it the same way.
That's right, Joe.
You hear that sound? Peace and quiet.
That's right. That's right.
Joseph, let me tell you what my father told me. He wasn't going to chew his cabbage twice. I don't chew my cabbage twice in my house. Well, I'm the big man in my house.
I'm the man in my house.
Paula gone.
You better be quiet, Lance, before you get in trouble. You talking all that trash. You in the basement. You in the basement talking all that trash.
I'm in her office.
Oh, Lord. Anyway, Joseph, let's talk some sports. Ignore this fool. So it's the All-Star game tomorrow night. Tonight is the Home Run Derby. What type of, and the Celebrity All-Star game as well. What festivities are you looking forward to in the All-Star game, which is in Denver, Colorado?
Well, I was just getting a glimpse of the pregame and the Home Run Derby. I like the fact that they paying homage to Hammer and Hank Aaron. Everybody's wearing the number 44 in honor of him, and I thought what perfect way to kick off the All-Star game in honor of him is with the home run derby, because he was known. If you go back to watching some of the old ESPN classic sports, they used to show a lot of the home run derbies, and most of those home run derbies was won by himself, Hammer and Hank Aaron. And I asked my wife, I said, well, everybody has 44 on today. I was like, is it Reggie Jackson? And then I thought about it. I was like, my wife was like, no, it's Hank Aaron. I was like, that's right. Hammer and Hank Aaron. Now, last year, did they have an All-Star game? Because I don't even remember.
Because remember they only had the 60-game season. So
yeah. So This is like 2 years worth of festivities right now.
Right. Well, and remember too, Joseph, it was supposed to be in Atlanta.
Right.
It was supposed to be in Atlanta, which is another reason they were honoring Hank Aaron, because it was supposed to be in Atlanta. And then the Georgia deal
it's just weird. Folks need to stop fighting. That's what it is, man. You see how they just messed up the man's birthday party. You got them celebrating Atlanta festivities in Colorado. Now, what happened if it would have snowed in July? Then they would have been in trouble.
But I tell you what, though, with the thin air out there, that ball will travel now. So, I mean, first and foremost, I played out there for a couple of years.
Definitely
that ball gonna jump off the bat, and it's gonna keep flying and flying. I feel sorry for those pitches tomorrow. But anyway, go ahead, Joe. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I mean, Lance, I forgot, you played basketball at Colorado State. And, I know you were out there doing some extracurricular activities with the baseball team and messing around too. And I definitely think that thin air is going to play a role. So, Joseph, if you have a favorite for tonight's home run derby, who are you going to go with?
We'll have to go with Mr. Tatis. He looked like he's going to put on the show. He's leading, I think, nationally with 28 home runs. And you got to watch out for the show, the big show. I don't know if Ohtani's gonna bat.
Yes, he is.
Okay, so it's gonna be a showdown between Tatis and the show.
That's what we don't do on this show. I'm like Floyd Mayweather. Pick your horse. Who you taking?
Floyd Mayweather don't even pick his own horse, man.
Pick your horse. I'm sitting here like Floyd Mayweather. I got a couple hundreds in my pocket. Pick your horse. Pick your horse. Who you going with? Who you going with, Jason Palmer? Who you going with, Joseph Phillips?
A little different. I'm going to actually go with Trevor Story. It's his home ballpark. And, he may be traded at any given moment, too. So he's out there, showcasing himself in addition to trying to win this thing. I think, I'm going to look for a dark horse here. I'm going to go with Trevor Story.
Take Lonzo, Oakland A's. Take a dark horse. He won it in 2019, if I'm correct. Taking him. And that thin there, that ball going to jump off the bat. Not like you said, Joseph, though. I mean, the big show, that man, he got all type of hype. They're going to be on him. I don't know if the press is going to get to him. It won't. But I'm still taking my man. Going with that. Bet money on it.
I'm going with whoever got the best BP pitcher.
Ohtani got his own. How is his interpreter pitching to him? Y'all help me, Jay. This is your
man is multi-talented.
Don't get in trouble like Stephen A. did today.
I just asked. What did Stephen A. say? I just asked. How is he pitching to him? That's all. Well, I guess you get. What's his name? Father pitched to him a couple of years ago.
He did. Hey, Ivan, who you got in the derby? Who you got? I like Ivan's choice.
I'm gonna go with Tatis. I like Tatis.
Okay.
In a big show, you want a guy like that. A guy like that's going to thrive. The same thing if Javi Baez was in the home run derby, I'd probably pick Javi Baez, but I think it's going to be a Tatis show.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question, Ivan. Who wears the most jewelry out there that's in the home run derby contest? Because I base – matter of fact, Jay, wait. Like I said, let me see. I got to go down the jewelry lineup. So when I'm watching, whoever has the most jewelry, they always win. I'm telling you.
Tony LaRusso was rocking a big chain the other day, so I'm pretty sure he'd be all right. Call him Big Tone now. Big Tone.
Tone look.
See, Cone is team bonding. That's team bonding. I told Jay Joseph when we was at the Sox game, I said, Jay, look at Jose Abreu jewelry. That's all I saw. I just dang his jewelry. Next thing I know, he got a hit. I'm telling you, it's all about your jewelry when you're in
it's like brothers. It's like brothers in the '80s with the Jerry curl and the gold chain. They just bringing it back. Deion Sanders was a prime example of that. He used to rock the process and the gold chains, and he was fast as lightning. It just went along with everything.
So we can still got a few more minutes with Joseph. I want to get to the breaking news. We got breaking sports Chicago news, and this is huge news.
What's that?
We got some breaking news. The Chicago Blackhawks have traded defenseman Duncan Keith to the Edmonton Oilers for a third-round draft pick and Khalid Jones. The Edmonton Oilers will take on all of Duncan Keith's remaining salary. I believe he's got 2 years left on his contract, which is paying him a whole lot of money. So the Blackhawks, they trade one of their legends, but they get some salary cap relief, which they desperately need. Let's go to you, Joseph. Just what does Duncan Keith mean to you when you think of him and the Blackhawks?
Well, what you just said, Jason, Duncan Cup, maybe the Stanley Cup celebrations, the 3 Stanley Cup celebrations that he helped bring to Chicago. He was an intricate part of that core, and Mr. Patrick Kane, Jonathan Taves, you had Big Papa Puff, you had all these guys, and Duncan Keith was one of those foundational pieces, man, who pretty much is the part of the final foundational piece that's actually departing. And he actually requested a trade because he wanted to be closer to his son, I heard. Mm-hmm. And they granted him his wish. And as you know, his legacy is safe here in Chicago. He'll definitely be remembered as one of the greatest Blackhawks of all time. And he made a lot of big plays during the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Joseph, somebody that really understands hockey, my cousin up there, told me he was washed up. So I thought he was done playing. Then I see a trade and he wouldn't answer my phone call. So I'm just curious. Was done? I know they owe him like about what Jay, is it 10 million, 12?
What's up, Kenny Mac?
Kenny Mac, what's up, Kenny?
They don't owe him nothing now. They done traded him.
So my cousin, Mr. Hockey himself, is the man washed up? Is you and Evan Moore talking about hockey? You two, you said he was washed up. Is he washed up? Is he playing? What? I
would say that he's on a steep decline, as you can expect from a guy who's in his mid-30s trying to play a sport like hockey. And the Blackhawks made a good move to trade him, and to get Edmonton to take on the whole salary is a miracle. Khalid Jones is all right.
I thought that was the best part of the deal. When I heard no money being retained.
They don't have no money. They got to pay him, and they got a third-round draft pick and another player. Oh, that's a good move right there. Stan Bowman deserved a lot of criticism, but I'm gonna go ahead with this one.
That's a Danny Ainge basketball move, right? You get everything in return. Your money, you don't take a salary cap hit, and you got a guy kind of like Joseph said. Shout out to him. He played great during the Stanley Cup run, right? But like you said, you don't lose anything. Those are the best trades out, and they take all the salary too. That's like Christmas. Told you, that's like Danny Ainge, Kevin Garnett, and Paul Pierce heist. That's what that is.
Well,
it's crazy.
We're gonna miss DK.
We are. I agree with Joe.
So there's a quick correction. Tatis isn't in the home run derby.
He's not.
No. But here I do have the participants right here. So
my guy in there. Go ahead.
To start Shohei Ohtani. Oh, excuse me. Hold on. I got this audio. So Shohei Ohtani to start. Joey Gallo, Pete Alonso, Matt Olson, Salvador Perez, Juan Soto, Trevor Story, and Trey Mancini.
Joseph, I want my money you owe me.
I'm going with the show, baby. The show.
Okay. You going with Ohtani? Okay. And
so
Lance is going with Pete Alonso. I'm going with Trevor Story.
Okay, so hard time out.
Jason,
So
I
what
know
does
why you
winning
going with
get?
Trevor Story. You want him on the White Sox. I watch you, bro.
I do. You ain't lying.
Ivan, tell
You
these
try to
young
get him
fellas
traded.
we need a wager. We need a wager. He's trying to get a trade. Joseph picked the wrong horse. What's our wager? What's our wager?
We're gonna come up with a wager and we'll do it.
We'll come up with something. Yeah, because me and Joseph and I both have the wrong horse.
Right. There you
Well,
go.
Right, Lance. Don't just put
How
that
about-
all on me, buddy.
How about 12 wings with extra sauce from Harold's? I want my 12
Wait, I don't
wings.
bet, man. I'm a Christian. I can't bet, man.
No, please. That'd be the biggest better.
I'm not them old mothers. Hey, I'm not them old. I'm not those old mothers. Hey, Jason, I'm not the old mothers at the church that be putting oil on the slot machine.
I'm not touching that one. I'm not touching that one.
Get out of here, but before we
I'm
get
not
out of
touching
here,
that.
tell the people what you got coming up this week in the Chicago Crusader newspaper.
I just did a nice feature piece for the 2 home run game hitting MVP of the Future Stars game, and that is Mr. Brennan Davis, who we've been bragging about all season for the Cubs. I thought it was a really nice touch that he put on yesterday because the Cubs have been hitting rock bottom, and we needed some positive news. So that was great to hear. In addition to that, the NFL has renewed their partnership with Twitter. I did a piece on that. And then last but not least, the Chicago Bears small business programming is reaching out to restaurants to help revive their businesses. So it'll be those 3 stories, in addition to a Larry Huggins story in collaboration with Walmart. So
good job.
4
That's
stories.
my guy, man. Me and Larry go way, 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 way back. That's my
Yes,
guy.
sir.
Larry Huggins does a lot
Yes,
for the
sir.
A lot of people need to know about Larry. All right, Joseph, sounds good. You take care of yourself. Take care of Theo. Make sure them diapers are changed, man. Don't let Lance get you divorced.
Yeah. Hey, Lance, make them dance. Lance, make them dance.
Hey, Joseph, I did used to change Brooklyn's diaper. 21 years ago, I was changing diapers.
Oh.
Let me tell you this. And when I hit the door, if she was on my heels, I used to look at my wife and tell her she could go with me. Come on, Bricky, let's roll.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
All right, Joseph, take care. We'll see you next week. Coming up next is Lene Harper. She's going to take NBA Finals and WNBA All-Star Game. Stay tuned. You're watching What's Up, Cuz.
See me. See me.
See me. See my dark skin and my kinky hair.
See me. Don't see past me.
Don't see through me.
See me.
See my tan skin and my curly hair.
See me.
Don't see past me.
Don't see through me.
See me.
See my face, wet with tears from years of oppression.
See my hands, weathered and worn from decades of pulling myself up through your society.
See my feet, split from centuries of walking your delicate line.
See me.
See me.
See me.
I'm tired.
I'm tired.
I'm tired.
Welcome back, everybody, to What's Up, Cuz. I'm your host, Jason Palmer, along with my crazy cousin, the coach himself, Lance Irvin. We just had Joseph Phillips on. We were talking about the MLB home run competition, which is going to take place in about 20 minutes. They're going to get started here. We all got our picks in. Everybody get ready. There's going to be some bombs hit out there in Colorado, so that's going to be fun to watch. But, before we go any further, again, I'm going to say happy birthday to my younger cousin, Brooklyn Irvin. She turns the 21 today. There's my little cousin. Brooklyn thinks she a model now. I tell you, look at that Brooklyn Irvin there.
She was on the
Hey,
show.
girl, like her mama. Brooklyn, she plays a happy university as they set her. But congratulations, Brooklyn. She is 21. Go drink, Brooklyn. Don't tell me. Have a drink for me. I'm gonna call my cousin. I'll hook her up. You used to hook me up because you older than me. And last sneaking me in the clubs, I was using Byron. Yeah, my cousin, an NBA player, Byron. I'm going up to clubs. I ain't got no business being up there. Lance buying me drinks. We should have been arrested, probably.
Keep that quiet. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what he's talking about.
But anyway, let's get to our first guest in tonight's show. She's been sitting waiting for us. We called up. This is somebody we've known since she was knee-high to a duck. She played for Whitney Young. She played for my cousin Corey Irvin. Then she played at University of Kentucky. She was a Wildcat, and now she's a professional ball player. She's going to help us break down the NBA Finals and the WNBA All-Star Game. Lene Harper is here.
What's up, y'all? Thank you so much for having me on. I'm super excited to definitely talk basketball and some trash talk with y'all, especially with Lenny. So
you introduced Nene like she was that lady when she was in high school and college. I mean, you know what, Nene? Thanks for being on. I appreciate you. I mean, I've been following Nene since she went to Black. See, Nene went to the Black over there. Nene, tell them who you went to grammar school with that you used to beat in a one-on-one. I'm gonna get the trash talking started, Nene. Tell them who you used to beat in a one-on-one, Nene. Don't be modest.
So if I'm Batman, my Robin was Jabari Parker. No, I'm playing, but it was Jabari Parker.
Tell them how you used to beat him one-on-one, Nene. Come on.
Man, I've had my fair share of games. We joke about it all the time. He was like, I never let you beat me. And I'm like, I got you a few times, but yeah, we used to go head to head. And when I met Lenny, when I was probably 6th grade, he was locking me up. He wasn't letting me score at all. And I had to really, work on my game, so I had to bring him some heat.
Hey, Jay, I would never, once Nene got to like a sophomore in high school, right? I will only play pickup games if Nene was on my team, unless it was Whitney Young players we playing against them. But no, I'm on Nene on my team. Till this day, I will not play an event. If Nene is in the gym, if she's not on my team, I'm not playing. She already knows it. She knows I'm not playing. I'm not playing. The only reason I guard you that way because I saw something special with you. And I used to tell you, if you could score against me, fouling you, grab you, holding on to
you go try and take credit again for your hard work, Nene. Don't let him do it.
Lenny really did make me tough. He helped me, man, for sure. All those open gyms and trash talk, and we was in there for hours, but it definitely made me better, for sure.
Love it. Nene, how many state titles did you get at Whitney Young?
Oh, I got my junior year, we went undefeated. I got a ring, state champions. I got 4 city championships in a row. 4 in a row. 4 city championships in 1 state. Undefeated.
So, for people who are watching us who are outside of Chicago, they don't understand. To win the city title is almost a bigger deal than winning the state because the battle to win the city title, all the teams you got to go through are both the boys and the girls side. So, Nene, for you, which one means more to you, the 4 city titles or the 1 undefeated state title?
You know what? That's tough.
That's a good question. That's a great question.
I'm going to have to go with the state title. And the reason is because I want to say maybe my 7th or 8th grade year, I was watching Whitney Young play. And it was always Marshall, Bolingbrook. Those are the toughest teams that they had to beat. And we just could not beat them. Whitney Young won a championship in 2008. And the years after that, it was Whitney Young and Bolingbrook in the state finals. And we kept falling short, few points. And my sophomore year, we lost to them. And IHSA changed all the rules. They said, we tired of seeing y'all downstate. We're going to make y'all play in the super sectionals.
Yep, they did.
Found out we were playing Bolingbrook in the super sectionals. We were hyped. And the fact that we had a very tough year, my junior year. I mean, a hard year. And the fact that we came back and we beat them 4 overtimes, one game, it was amazing. That's the highlight of my high school career.
Love it.
More.
Love it, love it, love it. And yes, I am an IHSA referee, so I will not go in on the IHSA, but they already know. I already told them, a lot of people think y'all was on some BS with that. Y'all done flipped a few schools like that in a couple sports.
Y'all was on, I don't know what y'all was on. Y'all was on
I know we're trying to get geographic representation, but come on now. That was.
But you know what? Seriously though, when we did make it to the championship, I think we played Edwardsville.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great experience, but to us, that championship game was against Bolingbrook. So it didn't feel the same, but of course we were extremely happy to actually win state title and everything. But that Bolingbrook game, we gave everything we had.
That was crazy. That was one of the best games I ever watched. You showed me. Yep, you did. I was looking around, Jay, like.
I shot the ball, I came down, and my ankle was as big as a grapefruit. I mean, I couldn't even walk. And I'm sitting there crying because I'm like, we have a game tomorrow. And I can't walk. And my best friends, Lexi and Janae, they came over to my house. And we watched at least maybe 2 Bolingbrook games from previous seasons. We were up to like maybe 3 a.m. And I just had my foot in a bucket of water, some ice. And coach like, you got to play. I don't know what you thought this was. My mama, she a diva. My mom is like, she can't play. Her foot is messed up, but we're going to still attend the game. Corey was like, no, she's playing. We're going to wrap it up. But once the adrenaline started going, I didn't forget that my ankle was bothering me. And we just had to win that game. So
let me ask you about that, Nene. It seems like people try to use the words that players these days are a little bit different. They try to say they're not as tough as they used to be. Do you think that if you wouldn't have played, would you have felt some type of way? Or were you like, man, I'm letting my team down? Because some people, they wouldn't have played it. I remember how big your ankle was, right? So do you think that you made the right decision when you played, or was it at any point in time when you like, man, I shouldn't play?
No, I think I made the right decision to play. I think for me, all my teammates put in so much work to get there. And it's like I would be letting my teammates down if I didn't play. And so in my mind, it's like, it doesn't matter if I can only play 5 minutes or if I could play 40 minutes. It's just if I can get out there and play. And I'm glad I did, because I was able to help. I think I had a double still. I think I had like 16 and 10 on a hurt ankle, but I had to be there. I had to. And I think it was one moment in the game where I had just scored in the top of the 4th overtime, and I started limping down the court, and I was just like, a tear started to fall down my eye, and I saw Mac. Mac was like, "Fuck it up, Nene. 4 minutes." And I was like, "You're right. I got you." But you know what? To your point, with the generation now, it's just so different. Back then, playing in, tough open gyms with Landy, having like tough accountability on you all the time. It made us tougher, so then we were harder on our teammates as well as our parents. Laney said something to me or Corey, my mom was right there behind him like, well, they said you got to go to practice at 12, so you got to be at practice, and it's all about your support system. And now, with the college athletes and the new transfer rules, you can just transfer and play right away. So now, the transfer portal is like people in line trying to get the lottery, trying to hit the lottery, trying to get these tickets. They're like, I'm trying to see where, but times have changed. It's on thin ice. Coaches can talk to their players a certain way, or you got to move this way because you want to be too careful. And that's just tough. It's just, that's not how I grew up. And I'm sure that's not how y'all grew up. It probably was tough.
It ain't close. I mean, we grew up in a time where coaches was actually hitting folks. So I mean, it was a whole different era back then. You know, the stuff they did to us is now illegal. You will go to jail for it.
And you know what? I believe in the transfer market, right? I know Nene transferred also, but I don't think you transferred because the coach said something to you and the coach hurt your feeling. So what's a reason why you transferred, Nene? Because it's a difference. Like, it's some people, Jay, they just jumping in the portal just because you played 5 minutes, but sometimes you only earned 5 minutes.
Yep.
So what's your thoughts on that, Nene?
So I think my freshman year when I got to Kentucky, you know, when you go on your visit, they tell you, they tell you what you want to hear. You know, you go on a visit, they wine and dine you, So when I got there and what they told me what was going to happen didn't happen. So of course I had thoughts in my mind like, nah, it's not working out. I'm gonna go to a different school. But, talking to my mom and my coaches, they're like, just give it a shot. Just try. So I'm there, I got into the role of accepting my role. Like, I'm only a freshman. We had about 7 or 8 All-Americans on our team at the time. So it's like, let me wait my turn. Let me learn from these players. And I was okay with that. It was a great atmosphere. It wasn't perfect, but I started to get better. I started to grow. But then my sophomore year, just the dynamic of the atmosphere, it just wasn't healthy. It had nothing to do with time. Because ever since I got out of high school, I never had a problem with coming off the bench or starting. I never went to a coach and said, I should be starting. Even in my mind, if I thought that I should have started, I never said anything. I just tried my best to, accept my role. But I want to say the end of my sophomore year, I went through a lot where my great-grandmother was passing away. I was fighting depression and anxiety, like a whole bunch of stuff. And I got invited to go to a USA trial, which is big. I mean, if you get invited to that, anybody will want to go. And me and the coach, we bumped heads about it, and I still decided to go. But a lot of things happened. And while everything transpired, it made me feel like, he didn't have his best interest at heart for me in general. And I still tried to, stick it out. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna stay. And I came back. I took 3 weeks off to spend with my family after my great grandmother passed away. And when I came back, it's about to be my junior year. I'm ready. I just got a gold medal. And, we were about to have our first scrimmage, and I was not in the starting lineup. And I think at that moment, that's when I said, you know what, I'm going to leave. And it had nothing to do with me starting. It's just the fact of, for me, it's like respect. I've put in so much work here for my teammates, for the staff, for the university, holding myself to high standards, my grades, deanless, everything. And to be put in certain situations and find out, information on the side, I was just like, it's time for me to go somewhere else. And I started to think about my future. It's like, if I want to get to the league, I have to be on the floor. If these scouts want to see me, is my coach putting me in the right position? Is my coach communicating with scouts? So I entered the transfer portal, and before I committed to to Kentucky, it was between Ohio State and Kentucky. And the reason why I chose Kentucky was because the style of play was similar to Whitney Young, and Janae Thompson was there. So me and Janae, we played together. So I'm like, this is perfect. It's only 6 hours away from home. I can drive. And Ohio State was perfect as well, but the style of play was different. So, when I left, I took some visits, and I took a visit to Ohio State, and I said, I got to come here. Got to come to Ohio State. I get there, and it's the complete opposite. The coaching staff is amazing. I mean, they were amazing from top to bottom. But our team was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. Yeah, it was a nightmare.
Wow.
So at Kentucky, our team was amazing. And then, I had problems, with coaches. But then I get to Ohio State. Coaches are amazing. Our team is like a disaster. So, and that's to say that no matter where you go, you're going to have problems. But you have to figure out what's best for you. So me being at Ohio State, you know, their alumni, you know, the amount of resources, the education that I was getting, you know, me being able to go get my master's, me playing, you know, closer to home, and my coaches putting me in a position to be seen by WNBA coaches. You know, so anywhere you go, it's going to be problems, but you have to see what's most important. You know, is that next level what's important for you, or you not playing 30 minutes in this game? You know, and even when I got to Ohio State, I could have felt like certain things that I wanted, but I did the best that I could do. I started as guarding the 4 for Ohio State. We played 4 guards out, a post in. And I'm out here guarding 6'3", 6'4" post players, you know, but I accepted my role. And I think that made me a better player, you know, that I can do a little bit of everything. You know, I can play defense. I can also, you know, rebound. I can attack the rim. You know, I can pull up. You know, I can pass. I can do a little bit of everything. So I think that's where I shifted my mind to, is being able to be coachable and adaptable to any situation that I'm in. And I think that's what helped me get to where I am now.
Well said. Well said. Jay, we can't hear you.
Sorry, I muted myself by accident. Once again, we're joined by Lene Harper, Chicago's own, talking about her college experience. But, you know, we know you're watching the NBA Finals, and that was one of the reasons we wanted to bring you on to get your assessment of what you've seen so far in these 3 games. Tell us your thoughts. Milwaukee last night came back, put themselves right back in this series.
Well, you know, I'm kind of shocked that Milwaukee is even in the finals. Just watching the entire series with Brooklyn. I get it. With Kyrie getting injured with his ankle, that kind of saved them. But I was shocked to see them there. You know, I think it was game 7, I think, with them. When Giannis airballed that free throw, I'm like, you know, what is this? Milwaukee is not going to make it to, you know what I'm saying? But they got a lot of key pieces. And I think, you know, with Middleton and Drew, I think, you know, when they're able to play their best basketball, I think that's what makes them dangerous. But contrary to it, I mean, Devin Booker is like a Kobe 2.0, in my opinion. I mean, he is phenomenal. And I'm a Chris Paul fan, and I really want the Suns to win because I feel like he deserves a championship. You know, he's been in the league for what? At least 12.
About 13 years.
Yeah. And he's been bouncing around, and to get in the position that he is now, to go through the process with the COVID protocols, which I feel like was rigged. I don't know. But he deserves it. He deserves it.
So let me ask you this, because my cousin over there is a Milwaukee Bucks fan.
And
I think he picked the Bucks to go all the way. What does Phoenix need to continue to do to win the series? Is it more Chris Paul on screen and roll? How can they stop Giannis also? Because Giannis has been coming up big, Nene. So that's like a 2-part question.
You know what? I think, honestly, wait, can you say the first part question?
The first part is this. What do they need to do? Do they need to keep putting Chris Paul in more screen and rolls? Or the second question is, how can they stop Giannis? Because Giannis has been having his way with everybody. Ooh-wee.
Well, you know, I think Chris Paul, his bread and butter is the pick and roll. I mean, it's just like shooting a layup for him. But seriously, you know, I think, with Giannis, you can't stop him. I think the best thing that I would do is stop everybody else. You can't let those players get 18 to 25 points. You can't let them get hot, especially in the second half. But if you let Giannis get his 45 and 12 or whatever he's getting, that's fine. Let him be a one-man show, but focus on everybody else. You can't stop him. I mean, this man is coming down. What was the highlight? He's on the left side, comes off a screen and hits a euro on the left side effortlessly. I mean, it was just, you can't stop that. But you can stop everybody else, or you can at least limit, you know, the amount of points that they're scoring.
That's why we had to have Nene on the show, because Nene understands basketball.
First of all, Nene, let's clear something up. Milwaukee is my side piece team. I'm a Bulls fan, but you know they ain't acting right, so I gotta dip out. And I live in Wisconsin, so technically I ain't really doing nothing wrong, Nene. I'm live closer to Milwaukee than Chicago. And
I'm a Bulls fan too, but the Bulls, I don't know. The Bulls just need to start fresh.
there you go.
They need to start fresh.
There you go. See,
I'm gonna say one thing about the Bulls. I don't think that Zach should be the forefront of the Bulls. That's just my opinion.
Whoa, that's strong.
This is strong.
Whoa,
Yeah, come on.
that's strong. Come on,
We
talk
gonna
to me.
get some-
Talk to me.
yeah, come on
Talk
now.
to me. Come on.
He's a great player, athletic. He's
Mhm.
able to stretch his game out beyond the arc. But it's just like he can have 25 to 32 points, but it's quiet. It's not really changing the game. It's not really affecting his players. He's not really a leader. He will be a great second or third option. Bringing in a superstar to start and then bringing on Zach as a spark off the bench or even starting on the wing for as their starting five, that would change the dynamic of the Bulls.
Yes.
The Bulls need a point guard. So having a solid point guard and also having a force bringing Zach off the bench, then they starting to cook some up now. But Zach cannot be the main superstar of the Bulls. He doesn't have the experience to do that. Not right now.
My
That's-
little sister got me thinking right now. Hold on. Stop right there, little sister. Pump the brakes, little sister. Hold up. You don't think Kobe White is an adequate point guard? Is he a star NBA point guard?
I think he's amazing. He just doesn't have the experience. So he's only able to do what he can do at his level. That's like putting him up against Chris Paul. It's no comparison. But with the experience and the more years that he will get, he can be just like that or better. He's amazing. He's athletic too. He's quick off the dribble. He's quick in transition. You know, he got a nice pull up as well. But you got a lot of young players. But who's your leader? When you need a bucket, when you've got 2 turnovers and now you down 6 and there's 5 minutes left to go in the game, who do you turn to?
You don't think Zach can get a bucket, Nene? See, that's why I love Nene. You see how Nene broke the game down. You don't think Zach is like Nene, and this is the term I hate with all these new generation players. You don't think Zach is a 3-level player? Shoot the 3, mid-range, and finish.
He can do all that. He can do all that. But it's just not effective. I'll put it like this. And this is probably a terrible example. But I'll use Russell Westbrook, right?
But my cousin Jay give terrible examples all day, any day. But go ahead, Nene.
I'll use Russell Westbrook.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I can even use KD, but that might be pushing it a little bit. Russell is the triple-double king.
Mm-hmm.
That's his thing, right? I mean, he can do everything. He's like a force.
True.
But he's not good at leading a team.
Yeah.
If you look at KD has went from OKC playing with Russell and playing with James. You left and now you went to Golden State.
Mm-hmm.
Why he made that decision, that's cool. Of course you were going to get a ring. They were already established,
Right.
which is understandable. You go to Brooklyn and you get the pieces that you need. You have every piece. I get it, injuries come up and you can't control that. But if you have the chance to win the game, you come down and you make a tough 3, and all you need is a 2. You come down and shoot another layup. Now you about 7 feet. Can nobody stop you? So why shoot a 3 when you could just get to the rim or get fouled? They're going to call the foul because you Kevin Durant. But they're not really leaders. And that's why people get on LeBron, because they're like, oh, LeBron is not that good. LeBron is my favorite player, but I know that Kevin Durant is the best scorer in the league.
Mm-hmm.
But LeBron is a better leader.
I
And that's why he's able to cultivate the team that he puts together, and they're able to get better. He's not as flashy, but he know what he's doing. Experience.
I agree.
Okay, sis. Let me transition to the WNBA a little bit. Cause you know your NBA talk was great. You see, you got me thinking a little bit. Let's go WNBA.
Okay.
The Olympic team, like you talked about. Should Obumike have made the Olympic team in your opinion? Because a lot of people use the word she was snubbed.
Yep.
I know, and I know we might be treading on thin ice because you played on the team. Do you think the team should be picked that way, or
honestly,
what's your thoughts?
It's a lot of great players in the W, and it's hard to select only 12 players. That's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like similar to the NBA, it's hard. But when you look at just the resume of certain players and all of the things that they've done for the league, for their own brand, and just for basketball in general, she should have been on that team.
Here's my thing too. Go ahead. I think so too. I think that, Jay, I don't know how you feel about this. I think it should be a cap on maybe, I don't know how many times you could play on the Olympic team, right? If that's supposed to be something special, I think when you playing, this is me 4 or 5 times. I'm not saying nothing wrong. I'm not talking about Sue Bird and none of that.
What you're saying? You're making a great point. I think you're making a great point, and I think that Nene said it best. There's a lot of talent in the league. So if you got that much talent in the league, you really don't need a person going 4 or 5 times because you got other people coming up. Now, yeah, I think she got snubbed, and I wouldn't be mad if she went and played for Team Nigeria. Hell, they beat the men's team, so let her go. Don't play for Nigeria.
What's tough about this though? So it's like I think it's a thin line between how marketable you are and what you provide for the game. So I'll use Asia Wilson for an example, right? I think this is her first time making the Olympic team, I think.
Okay.
And amazing player as well. I think this is her 3rd year in the league, I think. Compared to NECA, right? She's been in the league for a while. And she got a WNBA championship, MVP. I mean, the list goes on. So it's like they're both great players, but I'm thinking maybe they went in a more marketable way, with Asia being, she has a lot of followers. She has a huge following. She's the hottest thing out right now. So maybe that's what they're going to now. It's just like with college basketball now. You have players being able to get paid for their likeliness now. So you have Paige from UConn. She's probably about to start making 6 figures just off of her name, her following, and what she's able to contribute to the game. She's an amazing player. Versus when we were in college, I don't even think we got $200 a month. We didn't get anything, So I think it's a thin line between you got all these young players coming up trying to keep the game fresh, but then you also have players who've worked so hard to get to this moment and to get snubbed. So I think they all are well deserving of it, but I do think NECA should have been on that roster.
That's a good point. And there are politics and everything. People, and I try to explain that a lot of time to people watching this show that it ain't always about the most talented or who's the most deserving. A lot of this is politics as well. And Dawn Staley is my favorite women's basketball player of all time, and she's a hell of a coach. So I'm gonna respect her decision, but that also doesn't mean I can't question it. The All-Star game, the WNBA All-Star game, coming up. That's something else that also has politics involved in it, actually. But talk to me a little bit about the WNBA All-Star game, which is coming up. What you think of the selections and the format of the game?
I honestly think with it being the Olympic year, it was already going to be tough because probably majority of the players who are on the Olympic team would have for sure been on the All-Star team, but it's tough. So I get that. But if it was just me, and if I was on the committee to pick the team and I saw how much backlash, it was going on for the Olympics for not with NECA, I would have placed her as an All-Star. Now, if she would have accepted or not, that's, her own decision. But I would have at least been like, NECA has to be on the All-Star team, kind of as a makeup. I mean, no one wants a makeup, an apology like that, but I think it still should have been given to her. I think it was a solid. I think it's a solid amount of nice players on there. Again, it's tough. You can only choose a certain amount of players. So I guess people got to try again next year.
They got their exhibition game is coming up on Wednesday.
I was about to say.
Team USA against the Team WNBA All-Star game. So with all the drama that's been kind of going on, that maybe you got some insight. I got the feeling they're gonna be playing like this ain't gonna be no exhibition. I got the feeling people trying to make points during this game. And I'm expecting this game to maybe get a little physical, not trash talking. Am I off my rocker for thinking that?
No, I think you're right. It's going to be a tough game. I'll definitely be tuned in because I just want to see how the atmosphere will be, just because it's a little different. It's a lot of players that's been playing well this year that made it to the All-Star team that were underdogs, fighting with trying to stick in the league, not getting a chance. And now they're in the league, proving their game. Now on the All-Star team, I think it's going to be tough. It's going to be a lot. So as as a ref, I hope the refs don't come, one-sided, because it's going to be a long night.
Yeah, this will be, I will say, this will be one of those games that's going to be very difficult to.
Yes.
And Lance, you remember last year when we had NBA referee Mark Davis on our show, and he was talking about the NBA All-Star game that took place in Chicago, and he said, man, that last fourth quarter got heated. Like, it's like I had to really work because as a referee, we're looking at it as an exhibition, and we want the players to play. But at some point, you got to step in and really start calling stuff because they'll be out there throwing bows in a minute. So
absolutely.
Hey, Nene, let me ask you this: what young player do you think is up and coming that the regular fan should be thinking about? Right.
That's in the league right now?
That's in the league right now where you like, okay, she's pretty good.
That's a really good question. I want to say Marina Mabrey from the Dallas Wings. The way her ability to stretch the floor and shoot beyond the arc is crazy. She's already proven to be able to, make 25, 30 points in some games. And I think that she's a player eventually in a few years. She can be like that. And I've watched her. I feel like I played against her. But yeah, I think she's up and coming, and I think she should be in the running for most improved player of the year.
Yeah, she gets baskets now too. And you know what? When I just sitting there looking at you, Nene, one player came to mind that I'm like, she's really good, and you had a hell of a game against her when you was in high school. Didn't you play against Jewel Lloyd when you was in high school? Did you play against Jewel Lloyd?
I sure did. She went to Niles West, I think, and she's playing her best basketball.
Yeah. Man, Nene, I think y'all had a battle if my memory. I kept sitting there, Jay. I was like, that was it. I was like, Jewel Lloyd, she's having a great NBA career. But Nene, tell the people, how hard is it to make the WNBA? To make any league
it's
like that?
Extremely hard.
And to stay there.
It's like trying to learn how to play basketball. Wow. But I think, when you get to this level and things don't work out, as kids, we all have dreams of going to the NBA, the WNBA. But then once you get there and you realize oh man, this is really hard. A lot of players give up, so 2018 is draft night and I'm watching the draft and I'm looking at my name at the bottom, when they showing next pick, next up, potential picks. Next thing the draft is over with. And I'm like, man, I've been playing ball all my life to get to this moment. And now, it's like my heart is destroyed. And I could have gave up then, but I went back to the gym that next day. And I'm like, it's never too late until I can't hoop no more. And Chicago called me and New York called me. And I said, you know what? Which team will I have the best chance to make a roster? And I went to Chicago, and there was a lot of players in camp, and I was just myself. I did everything I could do, and I made the roster. And it's so hard, it's so cutthroat, with the league and everything. And then next year came, and that didn't work out. And then 2020, I signed with Minnesota, but COVID hit, and so now I had a chance to re-sign with Minnesota this year. I started the season off with them, but I signed a hardship contract. A lot of teams are dealing with salary cap issues within the NBA, but it just gave me an opportunity to get in that door. I got in that door and I did what I was supposed to do. So I'll be in the gym working, and the next opportunity I get, I'll be ready for it. But I'm not going to give up. I look at players like Allie Quigley. She went to Joliet Catholic, played for DePaul. It took her 5-6 years when she was just about to be like, I'm done. And Chicago called. And now she's one of the WNBA's most amazing 3-point shooters ever. You look at Erica Wheeler from the Sparks. She had a similar story, and now she's thriving. But it's all about just being honest with yourself, knowing what you need to work on, getting back in the gym, and just taking advantage of every opportunity.
Got you. Well, Lene, thank you so much for joining us on What's Up, Cuz. We really appreciate it. Man, she break it down better than a whole lot of people we know. She's breaking it down.
Man.
They back.
Maybe I should think about being ESPN
analyst.
Nene, if I miss a show, you coming on for me. That's coming on for me. Seriously, I'm going to call you after
I don't care if you miss the show or not. I might just bring her home. Thank you, Nene, so much. We really appreciate it. Take care of yourself. Don't give up on the dream. We'll keep on supporting you and pushing you. All right.
Appreciate
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good night.
And Jay, hold on, real quick. Foundation talk, Nene. Do you still have your foundation?
Oh yeah, go ahead, real quick.
Yes, my non-for-profit is called That Harper Kid not-for-profit, and we create and provide opportunities for underserved youth in the Chicagoland area. My annual back-to-school event will be August 7th from 12 to 4 at Kenwood High School. We'll be giving out 300 book bags, sponsored by Foot Locker Chicago, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and CPS will be partnering, and more to come.
Give us that date again. What's the date and time real quick?
It's August 7th from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. at Kenwood High School.
August 7th from noon to 4 at Kenwood High School over there in Hyde Park. Y'all get on over there. We're doing some good things here. We get bringing in good people on this show. So thank you so much, Nene. We got to run because coming up next is Student Gaming. I'm running, Lance. I'm running.
Good job, Nene.
Bye-bye.
You running, Jay? Woo!
Oh, well, look at me go. I'm tired. Go commercial. Woo.
Right now, the COVID-19 vaccines are available to millions of Americans, and soon they will be available to everyone.
This vaccine means hope. It will protect you and those you love from this dangerous and deadly disease.
I want to go back to work and I want to be able to move around.
To visit with Michelle's mom, to hug her and see her on her birthday.
You know what I'm really looking forward to is going to opening day in Texas Ranger Stadium with a full stadium.
We've lost enough people and we've suffered enough damage.
In order to get rid of this pandemic, it's important for our fellow citizens to get vaccinated.
I'm getting vaccinated because we want this pandemic to end as soon as possible.
So we urge you to get vaccinated when it's available to you.
So roll up your sleeve and do your part.
This is our shot. Now it's up to you.
Compassion, noun. Sympathetic pity and concern for the sufferings or misfortunes of others. We're all born with it. It's in us. Don't believe me? When you hear a baby cry, something pulls at you. You want to ease that pain. You want to soothe that hurt. No one had to teach you that. It's called compassion, and it's in you. However, at some point you turned it off when it came
To me.
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 The cries of my soul have gone unheard, but today, you will hear me.
My heart has wailed a melody loud enough to shatter your ears and you ignored me. But this week, you will hear me.
This body has beat the drums of anguish, only to be silenced. But this month, you will hear me.
This year,
This decade,
This century,
I will be heard. And
you will be the one to hear me.
and when I am finally heard,
Show compassion.
show compassion.
show compassion.
Remember, it's in you.
Welcome back, everybody, to What's Up, Cuz. I'm your host, Jason Palmer, along with my cousin, the coach himself, Lancey Irvin. And coming up next, Lance, we got someone who's known us since, good Lord, I don't even want to know how far go back. He can go with him. But, you know, there's a lot being talked about right now with track and field and what's going on. A lot of this was because of Sha'Carri Richardson. But, you know, here's my thing, Lance. There are people who don't know a damn thing about track and field and only watch it every 4 years when the Olympics come up. So then when rules are put in place and people break them, then people start talking all out the side of their neck. Oh, they should have did it. You ain't even know who Sha'Carri Richardson was until 3 weeks ago. Most of these people were out here talking. So I like to bring on people who know what the hell they talking about. And so our next guest, we know he know what he's talking about because he was the head coach of the track and field program at Chicago State University for God knows how many years. He was also the athletic director there. So he knows about track and field. So I said, let me just call somebody who knows about this subject, who can talk not just about her, but talk about all the other events that's taking place and what's going on with USA Track and Field. So I am proud and happy to bring him on this show. He knows you. He knows our family, knew your dad. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Sudi Davis is joining us. Coach Sudi, what's up, brother?
I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. How you brothers doing?
We're doing good, Sudi. We're doing good. I know you're joining us from down in Tampa, Florida. He's down there taking care of some family situations, but I begged him, I'm like, man, will you please come on tonight? Because I can't take it no more, Sudi. I just can't take it no more. So let's just start with the big elephant in the room, the Sha'Carri Richardson situation.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, the young lady is talented and blessed, but she also made a mistake. She made a mistake. So let's talk a little bit about Miss Richardson and what happened. First of all, what are your thoughts on the rule itself that she broke? And how do you think USA Track and Field have handled the situation?
Well, I'm hoping that's the only rule that she broke. Number one, the rules deal with drugs. Okay. And that marijuana is on there, that THC is on there as a drug, been on there, even though we've had some things change in this country, even though she's in Oregon and in Oregon, marijuana is legal. You know, USA Track and Field has to go back and redo some things, but here's the key. See, when steroids came into the game, I had to get out because it was too deep for me. People can use medications to mask their steroids. Of course, you know from Marion Jones or some of the others.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go in and you get, I don't want to say busted, but when you fail the drug test, a lot of athletes come out of their bag and say, oh, I'm taking this, or I'm taking this with a medication. I got a prescription, I'm taking this thing. and it kind of masks what they're really taking. Performance enhancement drugs. So the rule is that drug is on the list for being banned. I understand her situation now. Her mother passed, and some stranger came up and told her mother passed. Got that. But whoever was handling her are the people you need to look at. Because the drug is there. It's written. So you can't like totally overlook it. I understand how she feel and why she did what she did. Ben Johnson said he was taking his because he had a torn hamstring. The trainer gave it to him, and it made him feel good. He kept taking it. And it busted. I mean, he honestly said that. He didn't say, well, I'm covering up. So the rule is who's handling her? Because that person is who they need to be looking at and putting all the blame on, because she should have been monitored. Anytime you run that fast, whether it's natural or not, you need to have somebody to make sure you're staying within the rules, because the rules are the rules. They came up with something saying, okay, what we'll do with her, she won't run the 100, but maybe the relay. I can't do that. Rules said, you flunked the test, you out. You're not out and halfway in, because the girl she run on the relay with is the same girl she be running against in 100. What you gonna do? So back in the day, in the 70s, y'all was born then.
Right.
In the 70s, the German women came over looking like men. They had cut arms, and you could see the muscle development.
So they was looking like young Sudie Davis back in the day. Sudie Davis, go ahead.
See, don't start no stuff. They ran all over us. And we like, oh, wait a minute. It looked unfair. It looked like he was running against the men. Somebody brought that back. It got into our system. Athletes been jumping in and out. But it's gotten so bad now, man. These young kids are taking steroids. It's all over the place. So I can't talk about, I saw her performance. Haven't seen a performance like that since FloJo. She's patterning herself after FloJo with the nails and the hair and and the build and the technique. I understand. So we got to look a little deeper to this process, and what's done in the dark will come to light sooner or later. Whether she was clean or unclean, they gave her a short period of time for being on probation or something. So we'll see as it goes on.
Well, but and I'm glad you explained it too, because first of all, I think the way USA Track and Field explained the punishment also led to all this that we've got going on. People are like, oh, I'm boycotting the Olympics now. Why? Because of one sister? What about all the other sisters who got there legitimately and all the other brothers? But let me ask you, because this is what I was so confused on. They came out and there was out there that she could possibly run on the 4x100 team. And you're saying that wasn't even the case. But my question was, even if that was an option, and Lance, you can answer this too, because both of you guys are coaches. Even if your best player was available, but could you still trust him? You know what I'm saying? Would you have selected her to run on that 4x100 team, Sudie, after knowing what happened?
Not me. I love the girl. She's great, but she'd be out. The rule is the rule. The rule been there for years. It ain't a new rule they just brought down. The rule has been in there. It's been written in the drug. It's there. So you broke a rule, you out.
Let me ask you this, Coach. I get it, and I tease Jason a lot. I'm for rules and stuff like that. The rule is the rule. But should that rule be changed? Should that rule be changed? Because there's a lot of people say marijuana legal. She really didn't do anything. Marijuana didn't help her run faster. Should that rule be changed?
Well, you got to watch it, though. Should not open up a can of worms. If you go after that one, you're going to have to go after some other ones. And see, some of these things are used as masking agents. In other words, you're taking something else, but marijuana kind of maxes it. And if they look at it, they're just going to see marijuana. But deep down inside, there's something else there. So let me explain something to you.
Come on.
A women's body development only goes so far. When you start seeing cuts and definitions and things, they don't get that from pumping weights. They got a little extra in the tank. Now, what it is, I don't know. Look at bodybuilders. A lot of women go in the weight room and do this, but the bodybuilders will take something extra. So y'all can talk all you want. I saw Marion Jones. Flojo used to work out with us. I know the whole deal. I know all the Olympians around the world who used to be running out there and they was crazy. I'm just trying to tell you. There's a little something else in the water. Now, don't start calling me when it come out, because last time I talked about Marion Jones, my phone jumped up off the hook all night for about 3 weeks, okay? Because I told them something else, and they said, I don't know, she's great. Look, when these people come out and they start breaking records, it's not easy to break a world record.
Uh-huh.
I had a guy set 2 world records for me. They tested him. He was pure. They called me downstairs and say, Ken Lowry, this your athlete? I said, yeah. They said, he ain't got nothing in the system. He don't drink Coca-Cola. I said, he don't take aspirin, Coca-Cola. He don't smoke. He don't drink. He said, man, you need to be. I said, why don't y'all announce it to everybody? Oh, we can't do that. I'm like, okay, not a problem. These people are taking stuff. They running fast and fast. Usain Bolt is running to the finish line, setting a new world record, looking at his watch, pointing at the clock, going like this, and then going about 5 more yards and going across the finish line. Impossible. Impossible. Oh, he's great. Impossible. The only person can do that is probably Jesus Christ.
See, that's why I want
I'm just trying to tell you. I'm just trying to tell you something's up.
You really, Coach, you like opening my eyes up to stuff. Like you said some stuff, right? The average track person probably didn't think about it. I wasn't thinking about maybe it's masking ages. I thought everybody was pure. I said, look, they taking drug tests, but I'm not stupid either now. I know you can hide stuff too. But do you need that to run as fast as, well, basically what you're saying, you need that to run as fast as these people running.
Let me say something.
All right.
The average person can only hold acceleration for 80 meters. I want you to hear me. Did you hear what I said?
I heard you.
I'm listening now.
80 meters is all you can do. When your acceleration phase goes past 80 meters and you still accelerating, something is helping. There's a start. Let's give you
break it down for me. Break it
10
down
yards
for
for
me,
your start.
Yeah.
Okay. 80 meters where you can accelerate or do what you're gonna do, and then there's a finish. There's 10 meters left. Most people like Carl Lewis and be trying to hang on. My technique at the end, people start doubling up, muscles get tight. But when you come out the block slow, and you're almost the last one out, and they gone. And then all of a sudden, you slowly reel them in. And you run up to them, you look at them, you run past them, and if you look at the face, there's no straining. You know, when you're trying to go fast, everything is relaxed. And you run past them, and then all of a sudden, you still accelerating. Before you finish, you say, oh, look at the clock. Look at this. Hey, Mom, what's going on, world? And then they say, you ran the second fastest 100 meters in the world. The first was Flojo. She ran, 10:46. I was there in Indianapolis. I got it on tape. In my house. 10:46 in the prelims by herself. They wanted to know how fast she was going to run in the finals because she won the prelim heat from here to your wall behind you by herself. So in the finals, she had to slow down because she could have ran with the men. 10:46, like she could have ran with the men. So I knew then, wait a minute. I got some guys at home she would have dusted. What? She used to train with us. So from my experience from where I've been and the people I've seen, and I've seen folks, I just know you can't come in being the 36th fastest in the world. And all of a sudden, within 2 years, you become the fastest that ever ran in the history of the distance.
So Sudi, I'm glad you brought that up because the one thing I had always noticed about her is that her starts are horrendous. Like,
With the long fingernails, she put her whole hand on the ground.
I mean, her starts just horrible. She's dead last coming out, and then all of a sudden,
She don't need to start.
And then, like at the 40 or 50 meter mark, it's like she hit another gear that ain't nobody else got on their vehicle. And then she just zooms by everybody, and it seems like she's getting stronger at the very end of the race when everybody else is dead tired. So thank you so much for breaking that down. You know, you're putting a lot of stuff on people's minds here.
Look. A lot of people get mad at me. I don't care. You know, I've had some athletes. We set records all over the Midwest, and I can say, in the world. Okay, never use that stuff. If I got one guy from the Bahamas I brought, and I saw he had something. I sent him home. He had a little bottle or something. They took a picture of it. I said, what's in there? I said, you got, dude, I don't know what it is, but you got to go. You can't see, because can you imagine you pumping that in somebody's athlete, your athlete, and you see him 10 years later, and you see the little kid got 3 ears or something, or 4 eyes, and you feel like, yeah, I was letting them take all that crazy stuff. How would you feel, man? So as a coach, you got to take the option of saying, hey, my kid's going to be clean. I thought about coming back to track and field if they cleaned it up just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all over now. And I'm not saying every kid, but when you see these outstanding performances, outstanding. Coach, how many Michael Jordans have you seen? What if you start seeing 10, 12, 13 of them just come from everywhere?
You know what, Sudi? I was just about to ask you that. I was just about to ask you that. It's only a couple special athletes, y'all, right? That's why I'm listening. That's why I'm just sitting here like thinking. But to transition to my next question, because we can stay on this all day, because you got me thinking about.
I know you got things to do.
So let's play it this way.
Let me give you
Go
one.
ahead.
Wait,
break
Coach,
it
let me
down.
give you one more.
Because I'm listening.
When an athlete runs an outstanding time in the 400 meters, I used to run that. It killed you.
Mm-hmm.
And you look back and everybody's laying on the ground except for him. He's smiling and talking to the announcer, and he got his flag, and he runs around another lap, throws his shoes up to the stand, and them cats back there still laying on the ground like they gave birth. What the? What?
You have really opened my eyes up to some stuff.
You don't want to talk to me. You don't want to talk to me.
Oh, yes, I do. I'm saying you opened up my eyes. I'm sitting there because I'm a fan, right? And that's why it's good to have knowledgeable people on the show. Because I'm sitting there, I'm a fan. I'm thinking everybody just like you used the word pure. I'm thinking everybody pure, Jay. I'm thinking everybody, okay, cool, you got to pass the test. But Sudi, that's just Jay. Sudi that messed my whole mind up.
I know. Go ahead. Ask me a question.
Let me ask you a question, Sudi. Let me ask you a question. What are the pure U.S. athletes' chances in the Olympics? Who are our biggest rivals? Like, should we win 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 gold medals, or is that going to be a stretch this year?
No, well, let me say this. You got 81 first-time Olympians on the team. First time. You got 13 defending medalists on the team from the Rio Games.
Okay.
You got 19 college first-timers. And then you have a 17-year-old guy, prep guy, who in the 200, it ran a time that was like 19.84.
Mm-hmm.
He's 17. Look, talent is talent. But when you have an extra something, it looks so easy. If it was that easy, there'd be a whole lot of them running that easy. But when you see folks running that fast, not breathing hard, standing around like they just walked across the street, brother, that ain't the sport. Not the sport. I know.
You done messed us up. You got us thinking now everybody is the Bob Baffert of track and field.
No, I'm just saying, brother.
Yeah.
When you see a Greek freak,
yeah,
that just stand totally, okay, and then you see another country that got a whole lot of Greek freaks. There's a country called Jamaica.
Yeah.
One year, the whole women's team came over and kicked our butt, flying. Yeah, they could have ran with the guy. Then later on, we kind of caught up a little bit. Okay, but look, dude, it's out here. They can tell you what they want, but see, you all don't look at this like you said earlier, but every 4 years. Track people look at it every damn day. And y'all come out and say, "Whoa, did you say that?" We go like, "Y'all don't know what that is." Okay. We see them every week. We know. Used to be real slow. Now, him or her is. Somebody got an Olympic medal and stood up and did a wave, and the other girls told her, "If you won one more race, we're gonna turn your." And she retired that day. I retired. Do your research and figure out who that was.
Wow.
So, people, don't get mad at me. I'm just telling you, I was in the game. I saw it.
Right.
I was in track and field. I was in basketball. I know all the basketball players and all the track people.
Right. Well, so let me ask you about this, Sudi. So, all right. So that element of it aside, we talk the straight track and field.
Right. Okay.
How do we get more? Because I feel like USA track and field, it's still one of the world. But how do we get more kids from our community in track and field, especially in the Chicago area, because it's not nearly as big as it used to be?
They did something while I was out of town. I just made a phone call. I got upset. They had a track meet because I talked to them about track, trying to promote track. We got the new track field place over at 103rd College. Okay. And Conrad World was on that, and I was with that group a long time ago. We was trying to get an indoor track somewhere. Supposed to be built at Chicago State in that arena, but they didn't do it. It got too small. They couldn't put it in there. So I had to kind of let that dream go. But see, I told him when Ted Hayden was around the University of Chicago, he let everybody run in that field house. Every week, we know who the fastest person was in Chicago. Every week, that was a talk. Who won the 60? Who won? Who jumped? It was always in the paper. See, because media, you guys control who you make stars and who are not stars. Who you make pros and who you not make pros. You can make a good person not a pro by not doing it, writing about them, or saying anything good about them.
Good point.
Okay, so media stopped. Stuff stopped hitting the paper. Track and field just went away until the Olympic Games. Well, now, out of town, they had a thing over the summer. All these kids was running around trying to find who's the fastest kid. They just had a championship to find out Saturday. I was out of town. Indoors. Now, we got an indoor place. We got many outdoor places. We needed for a few more indoor places.
Okay.
Not as extravagant as that one, but you got these old buildings you can put tracks in, where these kids in the neighborhood can come and learn some track and field. It's a clean sport if you keep it that way. But that's what we need to do and get back and put in the media, take some out of basketball. Look, just a little bit. I don't want coach to get mad. Take some out of football. Soccer get more than track.
Wow.
Lacrosse is starting to get more than track. Track's been around for years. Jesse Owens, all these people, they turn over in their graves. They know it's getting like this. Howard Murchison, who was one of my assistant coaches. All these guys were great guys in Chicago. You had Willie White, 5-time Olympian. You had Mamie Rollins. I could go for days. But you ain't talk about them. They didn't become big people even when they came home because the media stopped after the Olympic Games. So the media, you guys have to get back into track and field. That'll make the kids want to get into it. The reason the kids not into it, they don't hear about it.
Gotcha.
They hear about football, basketball, baseball. Soccer.
That's a good point. That's a great point, Sudi.
And they go,
good point.
Why should I be doing that? Because they ain't no money, but there's money in track and field.
Well, and here's the other thing. So let me ask you about this. You hit on a little bit talking about sharing of athletes. Track and field is run indoor season is in the winter in Chicago. I'm talking high school, right? And then outdoor season is in the spring. So are there coaches who just won't let their athletes run track? Like, will the basketball coach let them run indoor or not let them run in the springtime because that's spring basketball? Is that a problem?
Well, for knuckleheads, it is. Because, see, let's call it track and field. We teach how to jump. I had some of the best jumpers in the Midwest. Look at the record boards in some of these colleges in the Midwest. Chicago State is there. Triple jump, long jump. Jumping, running is in every sport. Coach, you can't beat what you can't catch. Okay? So if he was a smart coach, he would allow the track coach to work with his kids to improve speed, stamina, and what? Jumping ability.
Mm-hmm.
But see, they don't, they so, I got to have them all the time to make them great. I got to have, well, you got to share. And maybe why don't you get over there with the coach and learn some of these skills so you can put in your program. I'm not signifying. I'm just starting. Y'all starting this. I'm just talking to you.
So, Sudi, let me ask you this. Do you think because there's so much money to be made in the other sports that we often hear about, that people are not concentrating on running track because they don't think you can make money in it? Parents don't think that's a sexy sport to make money in?
My athlete set 2 world records. Every time he showed up, they would pay him at a track meet. I set up an account at a bank in Chicago, Seaway Bank, run by Jacoby Dickens. They gave him an allowance every month. And then if he wanted to buy a car, they gave him a big part of his money. We would show up at a meet. He'd get $5,000, $10,000 for showing up whether he ran or not. Hello? My cousin, Ralph Boston, had the world record in the long jump. He would break it every meet, about like that. And every time you break a world record, he would get money. So he taught my best buddy, Bob Beeman, the long jumper, how to work with his jump. Bob Beeman went out there and broke it from here to that wall behind you. And Ralph wanted to kill him because he said, man, you messed up our money. There's money in track and field. The girls who you talking about, they talked about her endorsements, didn't they? Okay. Well, she's going to lose some of it. Maybe not. But that's money. They support them so they can go out and train. There's money. That's not like, maybe not like football money unless you Usain Bolt can point up in the air and tell everybody you're going to win all the time. Okay. But what I'm saying, there's money in track and field. How long do you make basketball money? How long can you make track money? It's a short period, short window. But it's a professional sport. But because they don't teach it, they don't talk about it, y'all don't write about it, the kids don't know.
Sudi, coming out of high school, right? How do kids get scholarships to run at the next level?
Because they run track clubs in the summer. They have things called Junior Olympics, called regional championships, and coaches out there looking for them because coaches need them to keep their job. If you ain't winning, you can lose your job. It's like basketball. Okay? So you have to go out there and recruit these kids, and you offer them scholarships just like you do in basketball and swimming and everything else. Look at this boy, 17 years old, set two junior world records already. He made the finals in the 200 with the men. Him 17.
Let me ask you real quick about two other really quick things. Sydney McLaughlin in the 400-meter hurdle. Our girl Shamir Little, who's from Chicago, graduated from Glenn Bloom, missed out on a spot by 1/1500th of a second. And this is why I think track and field is such a cruel sport, because 1/1500th of a second, dude, is a blink of an eye. And it makes a difference between making the Olympic team or not. Talk to me a little bit about Shamir.
Well, about who? The athlete?
Yeah, the athletes themselves. Just, what they're doing in their careers. Because Shamir is a girl from Chicago who has made it.
I heard you mention Lynn Bloom.
Yes.
Shamir Little.
Oh, okay. I was head coach of Lem Bloom in '75 for the girls. They didn't have a team. We didn't have a team. We won the city championship running in Converse gym shoes. Don't tell nobody. Man. 1/1000th of a second is less. Look, man, look. I had a girl, Rhonda Brady, missed Olympic trials. She made the team at 16 years old. She's one of the youngest Olympians ever. She came back and did a replay at 30. And we went there and we beat the world record holder. And she missed making the team by about the same amount of time. And I almost cried. You know what she said? That's okay. I just want to see if I can make it back. Hearts can be broken. And you don't want to sit around and hope something happened to the girl who beat you or, she flunked a drug test, she fell out of the stairs, but you can become an alternate on hold.
Mm-hmm.
So if something, if they need you, they'll take you. That's the good thing about it. They don't just kick you to the curb. Plus, they know you up and coming. And if the other two girls are older than you, they go like, well, we got to treat her nice because we're going to need her. All the Olympic team, all USA Olympic Committee care about is winning medals. They want to win more medals than everybody else. That's all. They want to keep their job, keep everything good. Coach, you know how that is. You got to do what you win, or they're going to say, well, he don't know what he do. Look, so every 4 years, man, you got to step out there with your team, and they say, what have you been doing for the last 4 years? Have you been running your sport? You got all the best athletes. Did you put them in the best place? Did you give them money for them to train? Did you do this, do that? Now we finna put it out there in the world, and you get beat. And I heard you talk about the Olympic team, basketball team, and you all stop. I know they got beat, but they ain't played together yet. Just give them a little time. Give them a little time. Y'all laughing. They got beat. Look, sorry. So you have to manage your sport. Okay, like they do football, like they do basketball, like with the Olympic basketball team. You know that, coach. That's a tight window there. They know who they're gonna take. They left from the. They left. Now they changed the rules for America, and that's one rule you talk about changing. Remember they used to take the college boys, pro boys over there, beat up on them. They said, all right, that's tight. If y'all could take pros, we can take pros. So we send out pros now. So when they gonna work on that rule, you can be an amateur or you're a pro. What are you now in the Olympic Games? Are you an amateur? Or are you a professional?
Professional.
It's a whole new game.
Yeah, I agree.
You gonna let them smoke weed or they can't? They got to figure it out, man.
All right, so here's our final question. We got a thing called jump ball. Ivan runs jump ball. But I got you today. I'm gonna have you go against on the question.
No, you and Sudi.
The way this works, because I know what Sudi gonna say. So
all right, Sudi, go first.
We're gonna ask you a question. You got 60 seconds to give us your position. All right,
Sudi going first.
Sudi going first. All right. Run the graphic. All right, y'all ready? Here's today's jump ball question.
I'm undefeated, Sudi. I'm undefeated.
Who is that?
You going against Coach? I'm undefeated.
I know Sudi.
All right, here we go. Today's jump ball question: should the Olympics in Japan still happen?
No.
Based off of the strike.
No.
Sudi David, you got 60 seconds. Go.
No. It shouldn't. You know why? COVID. COVID is bad for everybody. Them people got to go home. They got to be mixing with other folks. They shouldn't have it, but they're going to have it anyway. But they shouldn't have it. I'm done.
Be done.
Okay. So Sudi, at this point, quick. There you go. All right, Lance, you got 60 seconds to respond. Go.
Sudi Davis, the veteran coach, person I respect. See, Sudi came on this show talking so eloquently about they shouldn't have it, about masking agents and all that. Sudi, we should have it for all the stuff you talked about a little while ago. Heck, you done piqued my interest. We need to have it because I want to be able to see these track runners that's running 10-second 100-yard sprints, right? Since you put it out there, since you said what people doing, I need to be able to see. I need to be able to tell. And these folks, they just spend so much money on the Olympics. They need to recoup some of that money, right? So they will have the Olympics. The Olympics will be on. We'll be seeing new record holders. You, I, and Jason will be talking and being able to tell each other, "Ooh, did you see how fast that child ran? Did you see how Giannis just dunked on somebody?" So they will have the Olympics. Sudi saying no. I'm saying yes. I understand COVID, but the Olympics need to be had. How much time I got left, Ivan? You took
All right, there we go. So
I couldn't even see my time.
Sudi says no. You know what? I agree with Sudi that this COVID is bad. This Delta variant, these other variants out here, man. But I do agree with you, Lance. They just put so much damn money now. They gonna make these people get out there for more anything.
I got one question for you. What's more important? Money or death?
There you go.
Sudi, I'm not saying you wrong, Sudi. I agree with you.
Well, you go over there and come back.
But
you go over there and come back. You go over there, and when you come back,
Coach,
let's see if you make it.
But Coach, you know and I know, Coach, they're having the Olympics. It's a lot to do with money. Plus, they need to have it for all the reasons you said. I told you. I need to sit back and say, dang, he just ran 400 meters. She ran 400 meters, and she's not even breathing hard. I need to be able to tell those athletes tonight because you piqued my interest giving us real talk.
Hey, and look at the body definition there. Muscle ripped.
So it's not just the small shirts like my cousin Jason has on today?
You guys are awful.
All right, man. Get out of here. Sudi, thank you so much, man. We'll have you on after the Olympics because we need you to break down what happened after this take place at this point. So thank you so much for jumping on. And our blessings and our prayers with you. We know you're dealing with an ill family member down there in Tampa.
Yeah.
Just know we're with you.
Doing better.
Praying for you.
We're doing good.
Praying for Smooth Sudi Davis. Pops used to call him Smooth Sudi Davis.
That's right. Smooth Sudi, baby. All right. Appreciate it, Coach.
All right, Coach. Thanks,
Love
Coach.
you guys. Thank
Love
you.
you too, Coach.
Woo!
Jay, we just had two guests that brought fire, great ideas. Jay, y'all messed my head up.
Hey, man, that's how we doing. What's up?
Head
We starting out season 2 with a bang. And I mean, Sudi put some stuff in my head I ain't even think about. The masking agents I've heard about, but I'm not a chemist, but I know they do all sorts of stuff to try to mask certain things. But that's deep, man. And he didn't accuse anyone personally. He's just letting our audience know this stuff is out there. This stuff is out there, and people need to be aware of it. I did always question because the human body has limits. You know what I'm saying, Lance? The body got limits, man. It's only how high. You can only jump so high. You can only run so fast. You can only lift so much before you break your body. And leaps and bounds.
Here's my thing, Jay. It's always a special athlete, right? I'm not talking about the special athlete, but it's so many things that's being done this year from a strength and conditioning and a nutrition standpoint. Like, for instance, it wasn't no cryotherapy when we was coming up. You have athletes like LeBron James spending millions on his body, the chefs, the weightlifting, the recovery standpoint. That's why I'm like, man, there's so much done these days. Like, I'm thinking, and like you said, let's talk about chemists, right? We talk about the flexibility and strength and all that. Like, stuff is changing. There's always people coming up with something that we didn't know could be done, right? So I think about all that type of stuff. Like, LeBron not eating what you and I eating. No offense. LeBron got a chef. Half the players in the NBA got a chef. Football is the same way. So for some of those sports, like, and I'm not saying everybody's a freak athlete, but most people these days are good enough athletes, and they at least look the part.
Well, and I hear what you're saying, Lance. But a lot of professional athletes still do have that stuff. But I also understand that LeBron James is special. I mean, LeBron was a freak of nature when he was 18. He's that rare exception. And like what Coach is saying, if you start getting a whole string of them, you start saying, man, what the hell is going on here? All of a sudden, we done made this big of a genetics leap. And, we don't see that in basketball. Remember when Mike retired, they kept trying to make everybody the next Michael. They tried to make Harold Miner, for the love of God, the next Michael. So, I mean, you never saw that, until kind of Kobe came along. And after Kobe, it was LeBron. So those are the rare once-in-a-generation athletes. But I kind of, Coach putting on my head, I'm going to really have to look at this track and field stuff because these people are setting records all over the place. And it's not so much the Sha'Carri Richardson that got me. It's when he talked about the young man who won the 200 meters at 17. At 17. He running against grown-ass men, Lance. And, I mean, there's a reason why you don't see football players coming straight out of college after their first year or going straight from high school into the league.
Mm-hmm.
You're dealing with grown-ass men whose muscles have been developed for a few years while you just now, starting to get a little definition.
Mm-hmm.
So he really put something in my head. I hate that he put it there because now I can't look at the sport the same way.
And we're not saying the young fella cheated. We're not saying that. But I think he did a good job, Jay, pointing out stuff for us to look at.
Yes.
Right? For the novice track and field watcher. He put something on the table. We said, look at it. Take a look. Do your research. The acceleration, 80 yards. I was like, I need to look at that.
We're going to look at this.
I'm going to look at this.
So we got a couple minutes left. Ivan, jump on real quick for me. Super producer Ivan Vargas. So, Ivan, I mean, what did you think about what Sudi said? I never thought of anything like that.
Well, just listening, I was, blown away. I was, like I said, it just makes sense the way he put it. The human body can only take so much, and you got guys just continuously breaking records. The one analogy he uses, what if they pumped out like 16 Michael Jordans out of nowhere? There'd be some questions being asked, like, where are these kids coming from? So, am I surprised? Yes, like a little bit, but maybe not as much. Maybe it makes he's making perfect sense with the way he broke it down. And it only makes sense that you want to get the most out of your athlete. Some people do it the clean way. Some people want to go ahead and be a little dirty, but it's all depending on the person you are, I would assume. Look at I'm gonna look at it way differently now, Jason. I'm gonna look at track and field way different now.
And Jason, man, you just messed my day up. You had to bring on the guest with some knowledge. You just had to. You just couldn't let Ivan and I just, she running fast. That boy fast. Now I gotta go do some reading about the 80 yards, Ivan. Now I have to watch the start. Like, did he come out the box slow? He still kept up with them? Like, dang, he started off slow again.
And I was cool with everything. I was cool with it. She had accepted her punishment. I was cool with it. What made me mad, people who started the campaign to let her run and, they cheated her and blah, blah, blah. I was like, wait a minute, hold on. I don't think, if anything, they would want her to run because she's going to give us the best chance to win. That's what made me mad was the people making excuses for her when she didn't even make an excuse herself.
Right, exactly.
And I was like, okay, wait a minute, what is going on here?
I think that took away from what she did. Look, the entire situation, right? We can talk about weed all we want, whether it's going to help her or not. The point is, she broke the rule. She's going to have to deal with the consequences. She stood up to said consequences. She went ahead and owned it. Why are you making it? You pretty much you're downplaying what she did. You know what I mean? Like as a young woman, you downplayed her standing up and saying, "Hey, I'm going to take accountability for my actions here and now in front of everybody." It's kind of downplaying her play there.
I agree. Well, we're gonna watch this now. We all watching track and field now with a whole different. I mean, I'm all so we had Dominique Dawes on. She talked about what they did to the gymnasts. Now Trudy coming in the track and field. I don't know what to watching on there. I'm gonna watch the archery. I don't think you can.
Peter Westbrook. I'm gonna watch fencing.
Oh, there you go, Peter.
Ooh,
We watching fencing. All right, we're out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to What's Up, Cuz. We will be back next week. Remember, we got a big 2-year kickoff coming up in a couple of weeks at Output Lounge. We're gonna give you the date and the time for that upcoming live show. We're working to get that now, so we will be putting that out there. We will look forward to meeting a lot of you face to face. I'm Jason Palmer for my cousin Lance Irvin. Peace out. We'll see you next week. Peace.